stairs and stair lifts and everything, So it turned out to be an absolute blessing. And the school welcomed us, with open arms, faculty, staff, everybody. And the transition actually was very smooth.
Good.
People were looking forward to it. I think the first year we did it, and I think last year was our 13th year, we may have served 1,000, and it was as high as 1,500, and that's with 300 or 400 volunteers coming in addition. So it was quite an undertaking. I'm not going to minimize the fact that it was a year-long process for us, and it comes under the auspices of Christian Assembly, but it's the CARE outreach, which is CARE, Christian Assembly Reaching Everyone. So that stands alone, and then our main goal was the Christmas dinner. But we had been helping people because by trade I'm a case manager, so we were serving all the holidays on the day. Pastor Dale and I and Steve, we always remarked we didn't want to serve Thanksgiving a week before or a week after, for example. We wanted to do it on the day. So doing it on Christmas 31 years ago was quite an ordeal and a new beginning, other than, I think, Light of Life in Pittsburgh. We were the only two at that time trying it on Christmas. It was very well received.
Oh.
God is good.
Yeah, and it grew over all those years.
Oh, my. It was unbelievable. We had people from the states I can't even name come in. They'd come home to visit their loved ones, and they knew about the Christmas dinner, and then they were anxious to help us in any way. So it grew from an idea out of what the Lord had given Steve to just bring people together that are alone and had nowhere to go. And, you can have many, many resources, but be by yourself. And that's not good either.
Right.
So we opened it up, and it really became a mainstay in Beaver County and throughout.
It's interesting because Steve talked about being in Korea, and you talking about, you can have all these resources, but being alone. And people used to always say, why are the bars open on Christmas? Why are the bars? Well, because those people are lonely.
Absolutely.
And that's where they look for, camaraderie or just some other people, so they're not alone.
And that's the key word, camaraderie. A lot of them, you would think, well, maybe they came because of gifts or things. No, camaraderie was number one. No matter what. Through 31 years, I could tell you from my heart, it was definitely that companionship.
And I imagine people listening to this on May 2nd, 2025, saying, well, why are you talking about Christmas in May? There's plenty of time to talk about Christmas. Christmas season usually doesn't start until sometime in October, or really after Thanksgiving. But the reason we ask you on today is because I received a letter from you back in March that reads, "It is hard to believe that this outreach began 31 years ago in the basement of our church on Christmas Day, with just a dream and the wonderful volunteers to serve those who were alone or homeless. God has been very faithful and expanded our dream in ways that we could not even fathom in the years that followed. But the sad part is that last year was indeed the last year that you're going to be holding the Christmas dinner."
It was, beyond a doubt, I would say, in the top 3 most difficult decisions of my life that had to be made. But we knew it was coming. We almost lost Steve right in the midst of that and had heart problems. I mean, just it was a very difficult time, and Pastor Dale had surgery at that same time. So it really, I can't explain to you, it took everything with God's grace leading the way to get through it. The letters had already been sent out. Things were in order. So I didn't want to stop it. But I could tell you that it is a decision that was made with much, much prayer and soul searching, and many tears were shed. I think I'm pretty tough when it comes to moving forward with things that can be difficult, but it has been my heart for 31 years. Even as I speak now, it's really difficult to tell you that the decision had to be made, because it's a 1-year process of constant working on our part. We have wonderful volunteers who gave up their time, but they could not be with me for a year and get everything ready. Mm-hmm. It really took an army to get it.
It is a void in the county that won't be easy to fill, and I'm sure a void in your lives, because you've dedicated so much time and effort into this over the past 31 years.
Yes.
Yeah. And I suppose when you talked about this and you prayed over it, and people would come up to you and say, well, wait, we can take it over. We can do this, but I know how those things work out. And you laid the groundwork for it, and you perfected it to where it runs smoothly. Somebody else coming in may not be as dedicated as y'all were.
Well, you could say that we birthed it. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
And as time went on, every year, we were blessed to do something different. And when I say it was definitely because we had help, but the help came near the actual date of the dinner. Everybody wanted to volunteer. We actually had to turn people away because once we hit 300, 400 volunteers, I didn't want people standing on top of each other, even if we had 1,500 people to serve. So we appreciated that, and we hadn't really told anybody anything. But we appreciated when people would say, I'd like to help, I'll be available Christmas week. Well, I needed you January 1st of the following year to do that. And I can't blame them, because sometimes unless you're in the shoes that need to be put on and understood, you don't know what's involved. So it's not without angst.
Sure. Can understand. We are talking with Rebecca Salopek, Stephen Salopek, and Reverend Dale Russo from Christian Assembly. They have been the group that has put on the Christmas dinner for the past 31 years for those who are homeless and those who are by themselves. Just a way to put people together, and they have done a remarkable job at it over the years. But it has come to an end, and that's what we're talking about. We'll take your phone calls as well at 843-1888 or 774-1888. Will it be filled, or will it be just something that the next generation will say, hey, do you remember when they used to put, and you hate to see it, but it has been so much a part of the fabric of Beaver County for all these years. 3 decades. That's phenomenal. But I know, as most people do, myself included, we're getting older. And along with getting older comes, some health issues as well. And so it's just not as easy to dedicate that much time and effort into it. You have to take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, none of this happens. Mm-hmm. We're going to continue our conversation. It's part of their care outreach program at the Christian Assembly, and we will continue on Beaver County Radio.
Have you ever wanted to work in radio? Well, now is your chance. St. Barnabas Broadcasting is a network of 11 radio stations, and we are looking for account executives to introduce St. Barnabas Broadcasting and digital media to new prospective clients and grow existing ones. Experience in sales is preferred. Interested prospective candidates can apply by sending their resume to fsparks@beavercountyradio.com or by calling 724-444-JOBS.
95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with WBVP, WMBA, and BeaverCountyRadio.com, invite you to tune in to Sounds of Faith. Tune in Sunday mornings from 7 until 9 for a mix of the best sacred music of all time. Sounds of Faith is brought to you by Crawford Tire and Beaver, the William Murphy Funeral Home, City Rescue Mission, MRS Physical Therapy, Circle of Friends, J&J Spratt Funeral Home, and Rome Monument and Inspirational Gifts. Sounds of Faith, uplifting, relaxing, and inspiring radio. Sunday mornings from 7 until 9 on 95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with WBVP, WMBA, and BeaverCountyRadio.com.
Tune in to Beaver County Radio for your chance to win a pair of Pittsburgh Pirate tickets to the Sunday, May the 4th game against the San Diego Padres at PNC Park. Like the Bucks, we have our own treasure chest full of tickets to give away all season long. Listen daily from 6 a.m. to noon for your chance to win. We will also be giving away pairs of tickets on the WBVP-WNBA Facebook page. Follow us now at WBVP-WNBA. The Pirate Ticket Giveaway is being brought to you by Fisher's New Brighton Foodland and Beaver County Radio.
Put freedom in your future. Freedom United Federal Credit Union in Rochester.
Have you ever wanted to work in radio? Well, now is your chance. St. Barnabas Broadcasting is a network of 11 radio stations, and we are looking for account executives to introduce St. Barnabas Broadcasting and digital media to new prospective clients and grow existing ones. Experience in sales is preferred. Interested prospective candidates can apply by sending their resume to fsparks@beavercountyradio.com or by calling 724-444-JOBS.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
Beaver County Radio's news source. 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and BeaverCountyRadio.com. Here's Noah Haswell.
Good morning. On this Friday, May 2nd of 2025, we will have a complete Beaver County radio weather forecast after we take this look at news. Pittsburgh Pirates owner Bob Nutting released a statement on Thursday after a fan that watched the Pirates' game against the Chicago Cubs Wednesday fell onto PNC Park from the stands. Nutting mentioned that the community of baseball for the Pirates is devastated for the male victim. Nutting also requested both prayers and support for him. According to a report from officials, the man is in critical condition at Allegheny General Hospital. According to a release from Gateway Rehab Center, the company opened its 12-bed, all-gender adolescent residential treatment program on its main campus this week in Center Township. Adolescents that are 13 through 18 that struggle with dependency and substance misuse are served through this program. A therapist for families, recreational amenity use on campus, psychiatric team access, and individualized care plans are also included in this program. A Beaver County church is still feeling the effects of the western Pennsylvania storms as part of the roof of Frankfort Presbyterian Church on Route 18 was teared off of the building Tuesday. Crews assisted on Wednesday to fix the hole temporarily. In 2007, a lightning strike and fire damaged the same roof, which caused it to be replaced. On Thursday, the services for Sunday, May 4th at Frankfort Presbyterian Church were canceled. Lincoln Park High School boys basketball coach and athletic director Mike Boriski confirms that one of the players on his team was shot on Wednesday in Farrell, Pennsylvania. According to Boriski, freshman guard DeMar Johnson suffered injuries that were not life-threatening after being shot in a drive-by shooting. Johnson will not require surgery after the shooting. Johnson made a transfer to Lincoln Park in 2024 before his freshman season began. According to a release from PennDOT announced the deaths on Pennsylvania highways dropped to 1,127 in 2024, the second lowest since record-keeping began in 1928. The total number of deaths in 2024 on Pennsylvania highways was also lower than the total in 2023 by 82. PennDOT also recommends that drivers have to choose not to drive aggressive, distracted, or impaired to avoid an accident, life-threatening or not, on the roads of Pennsylvania. PennDOT District 11 announced that continuing next week, weather permitting, ramp closures will occur on I-376 Parkway West from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. on weeknights. The ramp from eastbound I-376 to northbound I-79 will close. The ramp from westbound I-376 to northbound I-79 closure schedule started yesterday. Crews will perform joint sealing operations. The schedule, open ramps, and detours for the work can be found on our website at beavercountyradio.com. Acting U.S. Attorney Troy Ravetti announced Thursday that a man from Honduras pleaded guilty to a charge of illegal re-entry of a removed alien. 31-year-old Julian Alberto Rios Andesol got around 31 days in jail after getting arrested on March 29, 2025, his fourth time being in the United States illegally. According to Ravetti, Rios Andesol has been in custody since his March arrest and will go back to immigration custody.
Here's the Beaver County forecast.
Cloudy and breezy today, but gradually becoming sunny. There's a slight chance we'll see some showers, followed by a chance of thunderstorms in the afternoon. Expect a high near 76. Showers and thunderstorms tonight will drop down to a low around 57. More rain tomorrow with possible thunderstorms. Look for a high near 66 and a low around 55. And the chance of showers and thunderstorms will continue on Sunday. We'll see a high near 67 and a low around 56. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
That's a look at the news for now. I'm Noah Haswell on 99.3 FM, AM 1230 WBVP, 95.7 FM, and 1460 AM WMBA. Also streaming live around the world at beavercountyradio.com.
Welcome to Live Mike with Mike Romai. This is the show that talks about what's happening in Beaver County. Noah Haswell will have news at the top and bottom of each hour. Now, here is the host of the show, Mike Romai.
It's happening in Beaver County, and it's affecting people in Beaver County, and that is the Christian Assembly Care Program. Rebecca Salopek, Stephen Salopek, and Reverend Dale Russo from Christian Assembly, their care project, their programs that go out and help people in the area. They came upon an idea through Stephen, actually, thinking about it, getting a message one night in bed to say, you got to feed, there's people out there who need help, and there's homelessness, and people are alone. And we hear about that all the time. We think that Christmas time is a very special time of the year, and it is. But there are a lot of lonely people at that time, a lot of people who need help at that time as well, and they go unnoticed. But 31 years ago, Christian Assembly decided to change that. And through the basement in their church is where it began, to last year where it culminated in 1,000 people or more at the Beaver Falls High School, and it just has been phenomenal. But as with everything in life, as we age and as we have health problems, and we lose energy, and it's just hard to continue it. And so the Christian Assembly decided that last Christmas would be the last Christmas dinner that they would hold. It's going to leave a big void in Beaver County and for their lives as well. And we say we'll take phone calls at 843-1888 and 774-1888. But you serve people not just in Beaver Falls. Of course, Christian Assembly located in Beaver Falls. The Beaver Falls High School was used for that. You were able to get bus transportation for people as well from, you said, different states. I'm thinking all over the county, and you said they come in from different states.
Oh, my, yes. Like I was thinking about people that have moved away, but their families are still here. when they would come home to see their families, they would make sure that they signed up to work that Christmas dinner. You would be surprised.
Yeah.
People from we've had people from Florida, from New York, from Philadelphia, everywhere that came and just found, they told me that they were the ones that were blessed, and they wanted their children. A lot of them would bring young children to volunteer. They wanted to show what can be done, even as a young child, to help somebody. And you wouldn't believe the seeds that were planted in those young children. We had them come back after 25 years of serving. Amazing.
And it was the whole community. The whole community
Absolutely.
bought in and wanted to be a part of it. And, you grew up in Beaver Falls. I grew up in
Yes.
Beaver Falls. And over the past 30 years, people have said, it's a dangerous place to be. You held these Christmas Day dinners
Yes.
for thousands of people over the
Yes.
years. You never had any problems. I never read afterwards the next week anywhere in the news that said, "Oh, this
Never.
happened." It was very peaceful. It was,
Never.
it was like a congregation, basically.
Yes. Never had interruptions during, and we had police force presence, not because they were worried about something happening, but because they too served. Police, fire, we had everybody there, law enforcement,
Yeah.
sheriff's office, county detectives, because they enjoyed serving. They weren't there to break up a fight. And we never had a fight. Now, am I telling you that we didn't have to be concerned about crowd control
Sure.
and everything else? But we had it down to a science to where everything was done in a very, very proper and designated way, because that's what Christ wants. He doesn't want confusion. He wants things done properly.
Wow. That's an important message, because in this day and age, when we're turning people away
Yes.
and mistreating them because they look different or they don't have a certain amount of
That's
wealth,
right.
that you were actually encouraging people to come in and join you.
Well, the one thing that we stood on the premise that when they came in, they did not have to give us any type of identification. If there was 6 or 10 or 20 in a group, and if they didn't smell very nice or look very nice, it didn't matter. We said welcome. We had people at the door welcoming them. Come on in. They had a ticket to eat, a ticket to get clothing. Everything was doing in proper form, and our clients, our friends, were made to feel welcomed. And we had a whole wall, a whole room of spiritual leaders that came in, and then counselors for any type of sickness that maybe they didn't have access to get to a hospital or get to medical treatment facilities. We gave them information and bus tickets, and we had people from those agencies and pastors who would pray with them. We had just about every form of assistance that could be. We had a table from the NAACP, from all the different mental health units. We wanted to reach the whole man, and we didn't care who you were. And I think the other very important part was we had 300 to 400 volunteers every year, whether you were Senator so-and-so or whether you were unemployed. Your name tag only said your first name as a volunteer, because it wasn't important if you were county commissioner or
judge, whatever.
or judge. All it was is you were Joe.
Yeah.
And that's what was important.
That's a great message. That's what I believe was Jesus' message.
Absolutely.
To bring the people together. Let's take some phone calls because I'll get in trouble if I don't, because I'll hear about it afterwards. You said you were going to take the phone calls, but here we go. With the folks from Christian Assembly, good morning. You're on the live mic.
Happy Friday, guys.
Hey, Charlie.
Hey, happy Friday to you.
I want to tell you a little bit what nice people you have in the studio there, Mike. In the land long ago and far away, we had a nice young lady in the band named Ficca Salopek. And I believe Steve and Becky are familiar with her.
My daughter.
And we did a spaghetti dinner to raise money for the band. I ran it, and it was nowhere close to what these people have done, okay? And I only managed to do it for like 5 or 6 years. But Steve was a pretty busy guy on Sundays, and he always came down and helped out. Mm-hmm. And amazingly, he knew his way around that kitchen in the high school. So I always appreciated that. But the point I wanted to make was, one day at band camp in August, I was down there, and, we're putting the band through their paces. And I looked in, here Steve pulls in. Oh, hi, how you doing? He says, I'm here to order the turkeys for the Christmas dinner. It was August.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew what a venture it was they did. But that really is when it hit me about this is an all-year thing. And God bless you for what you did. And the county can never thank you enough.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very, very humbled by your words. Thank you.
Thanks, Charlie.
Stay safe.
Bye. Good morning. You're on the live mic with folks from Christian Assembly.
Hi, Mike. This is Rachel and Bryce.
Hi there.
And Scarlett. We are. I'm actually the Rachel he was talking about.
It's a family show.
So these are my parents in the studio.
Okay. Are you watching us on Facebook Live?
We are.
Okay, very good. You can see them all, and your mother's dabbing her eyes right now.
So we just wanted to say that we are so proud of you guys, because it's been a very long 31 years, the greater part of my life. And, it's been such a blessing to the community, and we're all very sad to see that it end. But these people in your studio need some rest.
That's the important thing, and a lot of people don't understand it, because if you didn't have to do anything to put it together, then you just show up on a Sunday and you don't realize the work that they're putting into it. 11 and a half months out of the year.
Yeah, and it really is an undertaking for all of them. I've seen the strain, the work, the stress, but also the joy, of course, that comes with it. And it's a big hole in our hearts. We're all going to miss it on Christmas Day. It's, like I said, it's been the greater part of my life as well. So,
well, let me ask you this, Rachel. Can I ask you this, Rachel? Sure. As a young girl, you're growing up and your parents are involved with this. And so Christmas Day, you're not under your own Christmas tree opening presents. You're expected to go out. Did you ever say, can't we just stay home this year?
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, it was never like that. It was, we're a big Italian family, and Christmas Eve was our big Christmas event with our family typically. So Christmas Day was the Christmas dinner, and it became a part of my life, a part of my 3 children's lives, and it was never thought on as a burden.
Do you still do you still live locally?
I do. I live in Hopewell.
Okay, so you can take it over then.
Oh, sure.
In between being the principal of Rochester Elementary.
Oh, is that right? Oh, good for you. So do you want to say anything?
I am. And honestly, the amount of work that my parents have done and all of the volunteers, the undertaking that it's been for my life for 31 years, too, I have to say that while we enjoy it and we love it, I don't have the time to be able to give it the attention that it deserves.
Yeah, I understand. No, but you were a part of it for all these years. You want to say anything to Rachel?
My heart is very touched, totally unexpected. I think, Rachel and the kids, you must be off today, right?
We are, yep. Both of our schools are closed today, Rochester and Hopewell, but have prom
because
today.
Prom day.
They wouldn't have been able to talk. Okay. So I had no idea. But my children although they loved it, my son and daughter have made sacrifices too, because our daily would have been like our Christmas, like she said. It was all about the dinner. So, I mean, my whole family was involved. And because I have children that love the Lord and love their parents, I was very blessed, and grandchildren now that have been such a hope and an inspiration to allow us to continue, because people don't realize it's not just one member of the household, it's the household that has to make that sacrifice. But I always tell them, no matter how tired I was or how difficult things were, especially last Christmas with his health and things going on, there was such a joy Christmas morning, I can't explain to you. When I walked through those doors at the high school, I'm just in heaven. You can't believe it, to see people come in and just say, I had nowhere to go, or you blessed me, or I was here 10 years ago and now I brought my children, or something. So it was a privilege that God allowed us to do this. And if I could say one thing to everybody, please understand, I'm personally still am not over having to make that decision. It has really been so difficult, but I knew it was the right thing to do. And I'd like the pastor to say a word, because he's
been the silent partner over here.
Yeah, well, he's holding it in, but he's been very much a part. In fact, he was the one who said when we came to him, I'm going to go to the board, we're going to present this idea of a crazy Christmas dinner, okay, and who's going to come on Christmas Day. But he said, and then you could take the ball and you run with it. And he gave me carte blanche, you know, and I want to say this. All those people that we fed every year, our budget for 31 years was $500, not a dollar more. And that was a $50,000 dinner.
Yeah.
So it was brought in by donations. We didn't have bake sales. We didn't do any of that. We didn't sell lottery tickets. We believed that it was going to be for the people, from the people. And if somebody wanted to donate, if we could research a grant, then that's what we did. But it was amazing, the graciousness and the goodness of a faithful God. We never were without money.
Great.
Never.
Wonderful. That's wonderful.
But thank you, Rachel and Scarlett and Bryce and Lucas is at work.
Yeah.
So I just bless you, because you're my family.
Thank you for the
By
call.
the way,
Go ahead.
By the way, Lucas is actually here sleeping.
Oh, okay. All right, Lucas works at a downtown hospital.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm glad you mentioned your brother. That's the way to do it.
Love you guys.
Love you too, honey.
Thank you for the call. Pastor, when you brought it up to the board, did anybody push back, say, no, we don't want to do that. We can't do this?
Well, you know, anytime you have a pastoral change, there's going to be a getting to know one another and different ideas. And one of the things that our age group, because we're all in the same age group, is that we're not afraid to try different things. And so when we presented it, it was, okay, let's see what's going to happen. And my favorite words are, and we did this with Christmas, we did this with Easter, we did this with Thanksgiving.
4th of July.
And a lot of other but those 3 days in particular, I said, don't ever forget, Jesus was at home on Christmas Day.
That's his number one.
Jesus was at home on Easter. And that's because he was here with us. So why shouldn't we be following his example, which is, I need to give to others. And God says this, if you bless others, I'll bless you more than you could ever bless yourself. And that's exactly what's happened. And you find out that the people that are serving now, many of them were the ones who received the Christmas dinner at first.
Yeah.
And as they then experienced the goodness of it, now they became the people who were there to serve others. And that's the way it should be.
Yeah. And there are bigger congregations, bigger churches, wealthier churches, but you're out there with the people. I mean, Jesus spoke from a rock, preached from a rock, and there's so much glitz and glitter that go along with a lot of things nowadays. But to be actually out there and serving the people, is Christ-like. I don't know how else to put it.
When you think about what he's saying, there were times when people would say, well, Christmas is on Sunday this year. You can't miss church.
Yeah.
And that's when we would always refer to what he said. Well, Jesus wasn't in church on Sunday or Thanksgiving or, you know what I mean?
Right.
Where should we be? What would Jesus do? And that's going to be the part, although Care Outreach is still up and running, and we've already done things since the first of the year to help out homeless shelters and people in need and everything like that. But I think that my grandmother used to say, Christmas is every day when you have Jesus in your heart. We're not going to be able to do that dinner, but we're still going to be able to help meet the needs of people. And that has to be enough.
Sure. I'm sure it will. More than a lot of people do. Let's go back to the phone calls. Good morning. You're with the folks from Christian Assembly, the Care Outreach, and you're on Beaver County Radio.
Good morning, Mike. This is Rhonda Ficca, and I would like to call in this morning and to personally thank my sister, Rebecca Ficca Salopek, and my brother-in-law, Steve Salopek, along with our Pastor Dale Russo, for their wonderful humanitarian effort this last 31 years. They have had such Christ-like attitudes, servant heart attitudes, and I would be remiss to not call in and echo the sentiments of my niece, Becky and Steve's daughter. They have just done an outstanding work for the last 31 years, and they need to hold their head high and go out with a bang, because even though they may feel bad, they have just done an extraordinary amount of work. And because of the health of primarily Steve, which has been life-threatening not too long ago, this was a necessary decision, and they have made the right decision, and the Lord has blessed them and will continue to bless them and bless our church. It was the right decision, and sometimes in life we have to make these decisions. People retire in life, and there are other programs out there in the community, and people will find them, and we thank God for the work that they have done, and there are some other programs that they will continue to be involved with, so we thank God, and I just wanted to come on and thank them publicly for everything that they have done, the work that they will continue to do, and like I said, there are some other churches and feeding programs that may be on a smaller basis in the community, but there are some things and free food programs around the Christmas time that people can get involved with. Yeah. But we applaud their effort, their servant attitudes, and the tremendous amount of self-sacrifice that, in particular, Steve and Becky have done to put this on, because these volunteers just step in, a few days before the actual event has taken place. But Becky and Steve, and in particular Becky, has carried the load. So I want to commend them for their self-sacrifice and their labor of love, and it's because they love the Lord, and we just commend them, and we know that they do everything along with the pastor because they love the Lord, and they do it all to give him praise and to give him glory, and that's our ultimate purpose, and I want to thank you for bringing them on today, and thank you very much, and have a wonderful day.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much.
Well, I need about 3 boxes of Kleenex.
Well, I mean, you've done the work, and I think I speak for everyone that we appreciate the sacrifice and the service that you've given, and will continue to do so, as you say, with other programs through your Care Outreach initiative. Rebecca Salopek, Stephen Salopek, and Reverend Dale Russo from Christian Assembly, the final Christmas dinner was served in 2024, and we just thank you for all those years of service.
Well,
Thank you.
And
Thank
may I say personally, thank you to every volunteer that walked through that door for 31 years, as well as every guest. God is good.
Thank you. Best to you.
Bless you.
Continued good health and doing what you do in the name of the Lord. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Everything's bigger in Texas, including the racing action.
Now one car in the wall is Christopher Bell, hits it hard. Everybody else scrambles to avoid. Now another collision. Turn number 2, it is Josh Berry. He gets sideways, slides up against the outside wall. McDowell loses it, big time. The field coming right at him. McDowell tries to hold on to the race car. Everybody scrambles to get out of the way.
It's the Worth 400 from Texas Motor Speedway, Sunday, May 4th at 2:30.
If you own a company or a small business, you might have considered advertising on radio. It's smart because radio is still the most far-reaching media outlet today. WBVP and WMBA can get you results. Get more information at beavercountyradio.com.
Beaver County Radio proudly welcomes Fry Transportation to their family. You're listening to 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP, live from the all-new Fry Transportation Studios.
You're listening to 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas, in addition to 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls.
Beaver County Radio's news source. 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and BeaverCountyRadio.com. Here's Noah Haswell.
Good morning on this Friday, May 2nd of 2025. We will have a complete Beaver County radio weather forecast after we take this look at news. Pittsburgh Pirates owner Bob Nutting released a statement on Thursday after a fan that watched the Pirates' game against the Chicago Cubs Wednesday fell onto PNC Park from the stands. Nutting mentioned that the community of baseball for the Pirates is devastated for the male victim. Nutting also requested both prayers and support for him. According to a report from officials, the man is in critical condition at Allegheny General Hospital. According to a release from Gateway Rehab Center, the company opened its 12-bed, all-gender adolescent residential treatment program on its main campus this week in Center Township. Adolescents that are 13 through 18 that struggle with dependency and substance misuse are served through this program. A therapist for families, recreational amenity use on campus, psychiatric team access, and individualized care plans are also included in this program. A Beaver County church is still feeling the effects of the western Pennsylvania storms as part of the roof of Frankfort Presbyterian Church on Route 18 was teared off of the building Tuesday. Crews assisted on Wednesday to fix the hole temporarily. In 2007, a lightning strike and fire damaged the same roof, which caused it to